Let's see. All right. Hello. I'm just going live on TikTok right now. Okay. All right. Hello. This is my first live video. So I'm right here on TikTok and YouTube. And today I want to talk about my top 3 sales for this past week, trends to spot, and the impact that scammers and President Trump will have on reselling. So let's talk top sales first. My top 3 items this week were: one, a Rage Against the Machine shirt. If you're on TikTok, I did post a video of this shirt asking how much it should sell for. So good news is I ended up listing that shirt for $550, and that sold within 2 hours of posting it. I think 2 hours was the max. So $550 in 2 hours. I bought that shirt for $6. So even after fees, there's a really nice profit margin there. I'm going to be looking off to the side because I did take some notes, and I get off track really easily. If you ever seen the movie Up and the dogs are like squirrel, that's me. So I have notes. That's what I'm looking at. The second item that sold this week really quickly was a vintage Christmas screen printed decorative towel for $50. That sold within 15 minutes of posting it. If Once I learn how to use live better, I can definitely start giving pop-ups. I don't really know how to do all of that, but if you have Christmas items, especially a vintage one, I would start posting them now because they are selling. $50, 15 minutes. I believe I maybe paid $1 at the Goodwill bins for that, so that was a nice profit there. And then the third item that sold for a good amount of money this past week was a vintage Budweiser frog shirt. $65, and I got that one for free. Actually, that one was given to me. I was helping my dad clear out some items um, from somebody's house, and he said I could have that shirt. So in exchange for working, I got a $65 shirt, so it worked out really nicely. I did post that shirt 1 month ago, but it sold for full price, so that was really nice. I did also get several offers on that shirt before it sold, but I decided to hold on to it because I know that vintage teas are really hot right now. Budweiser is a really noticeable brand, even with some of the drama, I guess, they went through recently. They're still a good brand. Their vintage shirts are really nice. So it really shows the importance of um, knowing when to hold on to something, because I think I got my first offer on that pretty quickly for maybe $40. And $40 is a really good resale item, especially for something that is free. But again, I kind of knew, especially from looking at sold comps, what to hold on to and um, what is the word? What I could hold on to and what I should let go of. So I just decided to hold on to that. And I got $65 for it. So this was a really good week. Again, if I learn how to use the live, I don't know if there's a way to insert images. I will definitely do that. But you can also look, I should have a link in my profile. You can look at my closet. You can click on it, and I believe you could see all my sold items there. So now trends. Speaking of when to sell, another way to know what to sell is to know what is trending. So let's talk about some trends in the reselling world that can help you make some money. Because if I wasn't watching trends, I would not have made, what is that, $550 for one shirt, $65 for another shirt, and $50 for a Christmas towel. I mean, come on. If I didn't know about these trends, I would have missed out on all this money. So let's talk about the surge in secondhand fashion sales, thanks to AI and even tariffs. I know tariffs is kind of a touchy subject right now, but plays a little bit on the positive side in the reselling market. Just stick with me, okay? So the secondhand market is really seeing a significant shift in growing. Global sales have reached or are reaching in the secondhand market alone $227 billion. Okay. So that constitutes 9% of total fashion sales. And this is a report done by analysts for global data for the online seller ThreadUp. But just listen through all these boring stats for a second, okay? Because this is going to help you make money. Advancements in AI technology is also helps with the shopping experience. There's ways that you can use AI to help write your descriptions and your titles in ways that don't sound super robotic. And I can definitely do a video on just that in itself. And it also makes it easier for buyers to find exactly what they're looking for through tons and tons of choices. So I want you to look online right now and type in anything that you're interested in. So anything that you're interested in could be, I don't know, a pink shirt or a Betsy Johnson dress. And you're going to have tons of options, unlimited options, right? So how do you get your stuff to stand out? So there's AI technology that can help you to put in keywords that can help your item stand out, especially when people start to pare down what they're looking for and get really, really specific. And reselling platforms are investing a lot of money into technical advancements like AI. The so now the tariffs. The reciprocal tariffs that are being put into place, and reciprocal means they're just mirroring, right? Whatever that country has on us, we put on them. And there's a lot of, I'm not a super expert in all this tariff stuff, but when the tariffs start on April 2nd, supposedly, which is what, next week, that might have the potential to increase the price of imported goods, but also increase the amount of domestic shopping that is going to happen. So if you pair the prediction with domestic numbers going up, increasing on domestic sales, with the amount of money in the total global resale market that's happening, that's why I'm saying that the tariffs could possibly be a good thing for us domestically, right? I mean, maybe not in worldwide relationships at the moment, but if you're a US seller, you could possibly see some good income happening from that, because I don't know how the tariffs are going to look for us if we buy something overseas. And a lot of other people might have that same concern. So because of that, more people, I know I am going to be buying more domestically, which I guess is better. I mean, I should be supporting local as much as possible, right? Um, so let's just try to spin it in that positive light as much as we can. It might help you make some money. And so hopefully that is a good thing for you and your family on that level. Again, I'm not an expert in tariffs. I don't know how it's going to look on a wide scale, but I do know that more people, from what the other analysts and other articles that I've read, it looks like more people are predicted to buy domestically because of that. So hopefully, on the plus side, the overall sustainability of the world, hopefully that decreases the production of fast fashion, because I'm a really big believer. Part of the reason I really love um, secondhand and vintage and all that stuff is because it's kind of like saying a hell no to fast fashion, which is kind of where I'm at. Like, I love buying stuff, but I also feel kind of guilty about buying new items and items that are just not like something that I'm not going to keep around for a long time. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Okay, so let's move on to the second trend that's happening that'll help you make some money. So you should be looking out for this in the thrift store is Y2K. So early 2000s. This trend is still going strong. And by what I mean still going strong is that it has been popular for, I think, the last year in the mainstream world. In the wholesale resale market as a whole. But right now, you specifically want to focus on early 2000 designer handbags. So some examples can include the Chloe Paddington bag, Fendi's Baguette, and Coach Ergo. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Um, so millennials, if you're a millennial and you're watching this and you have stuff buried in your closet, this is the time for you to dig it up. If you have stuff that you think is in a storage unit or at your mom's or dad's house, you should probably go grab it right now because Y2K stuff is really, really hot at this moment. I mean, I just sold a pair of Coach Y2K sandals. You could see it on my Depop if you click on my link for $65. Okay, did you used Coach sandals $65 full price? I got my full asking price for these sandals. That was yes the day before yesterday. So I'm telling you, Y2K is very hot. You should go pull it out of your closet and sell it. If you're not going to wear it right now is the time to make a bank on this. Okay. Um and I think the reason why Y2K is really popular is because it has a superior quality and it's way affordable compared to contemporary or new models. So if you go to the Chloe website right now and you type in bag, you're going to get a whole bunch of bags, but the average bag is about $3,000 brand new. But if you hop onto Poshmark and you type in Chloe bag, about the average price that I seen was about 1,500, give or take. So if you want the status symbol, you got it right there for half the price. The next thing we're going to talk about is a trend in scammers in the online world. But a positive note, scammers are leading the way for an increased focus on transparency and trust. So here's how you can make bank off of scammers, which if you can get a one up on scammers, I'm all about that. So mm, let's see, I lost track of myself. Squirrel moment, right? So I think now in this point in time in the US, we're kind of in a big transparency kick in general. I mean, if you're paying attention to anything in not just the mainstream, but like even in the entertainment world with the whole JFK and the Blake Lively thing happening, it's like we're not even believing just the mainstream news. We're going to alternative sources in general and we're looking at stuff firsthand ourselves and we're just telling ourselves, okay, we're not believing in these, these lies, these kind of like scams that are being given to us by these mainstream media outlets. And that kind of big picture knowledge of people really demanding transparency in really big things is kind of even niching down and going into the world of reselling. So if you look on Depop especially, and don't get me wrong, it's on every platform, but I've noticed for some reason it's just starting to hit Depop a lot right now, is a lot of scam accounts that is selling something like, hey, you can buy these Louis Vuitton shoes for $20 and people fall for it, right? And okay, on one hand, I guess if I was to say Louis Vuitton shoes for $20, it's kind of my fault. But on the other hand, which maybe why Depop is maybe why it's happening at such big amounts on Depop is because the target audience for Depop is really younger kids, younger adults. Um, so maybe that's why there's a big influx there. But with scammers coming in such big waves, how we as honest sellers can make more money is actually really simple. It's really simple business. What is the word? Business ethics, I guess, is we just be clear and transparent in everything that we are listing. So if you have a listing and you have a shirt and it has some holes in it or some um I don't know, some stains or whatever, make sure in your listing or in your description you call those out. So by calling out whole or even adding the measurements, because actually I'm dealing with somebody that wants to return something right now on eBay because it is a vintage Western button down that says that it is an extra large on the tag, but on the measurements, it doesn't measure an extra large. So you always want to include measurements because what the tag says, especially for vintage items or items that are from international brands, it can definitely be different than items that are than modern day measurements. So always do call outs, always include measurements, and just really be honest in what you're doing and try to ship quickly. So I always try to ship my items very quickly. And by just kind of doing those really ethical things in your online selling, you will be able to get repeat customers. And by getting repeat customers, you'll be able to make more sales. Or even, I don't know, someone will tell their mom or their sister or whatever, like, "Hey, I bought this from this person, and it was a really great find, and they were honest, and they had a great price. You can buy it too. Like here they are." So basically, what you're trying to do is build an audience of buyers over time. And the next thing is how you can tell the resale industry is really popular. Remember, $227 billion just in the resale market alone is that the big boys and girls of the fashion industry are getting in the resale game. Did you ever think that big popular brands would be reselling? Well, they are, okay? Look no further into Coach when they have Coachtopia. So Coachtopia is Coach just takes in all their items. I don't know if they buy it or if they get it donated to them or how they get it, but they just have all their items, um, their own branded stuff, and they upcycle it or add some extra frills to it, and they just resell it. So there are brands, and Coach is not the only one. Gucci has the Gucci Vault, and they take some items. It's supposed to be vintage items and limited drops, and they have some, and they release it, and they resell their own stuff. So the as the average buyer starts putting more emphasis on sustainable buying, I predict that more big brands are gonna dedicate time into figuring out how to become better into contributing to the life cycle of their products. And of course, they want to make more money off of us, right? If something sells and then it sells again, then they're making twice the money off of that same product, which is pretty much what resellers are doing at this point. So if big brands are doing it like Gucci and Coach, if they're reselling, I mean, that has to tell you something. Reselling is profitable because why would brands invest all this money into the resale market, into developing their own resale market if reselling wasn't on the uptrend? I mean, if something is in the hundreds of billions of dollars, according to analysts, on a worldwide scale, it's on the uptrend. So this is a great, and the last thing is fashion trends to care about. So I'm going to kind of give a real quick fire, a few fashion trends that you should be caring about, you should be watching. I kind of see them popping up as things that are getting a little bit more popular. Um, so hop on these trends early if you want to make some money. Let's see. 80s maximalism is in again. 80s was in like in the early 2000s. I think 2010s 80s was in, and then it was out, and now it's coming back in, but this time it's 80s maximalism. So very like bright colors. Think Stranger Things, because this is why this trend is coming back into fashion, is because of that show Stranger Things, where they have those really bright, in your face patterns and colors on all of their items. I actually just started posting. What is that kid's name? Billy or something. He was in one of the past seasons. I actually just started posting some swim shorts that I got from him. Other comps are showing like $30, $40, inspired by his, you know, style. Another comp is showing $30 or $40. So if you can hop on this trend early, And you can especially use the keyword like Stranger Things or 80s in your tag or in your description. You could definitely make some money here. The next one is boho, which won't leave us alone because, like Y2K, this trend has been in trend for a while, and I didn't know how it would look uh, post winter, but apparently boho is here to stay. So bohemian, but with specifically with a more elevated animalistic edge to it. So maybe like bohemian meets mob wife type of aesthetic. Animal prints, but with layers and flowiness and lace, and instead of, real black and leather. So those are two things that I'm noticing that are coming back into style, or that are staying in style. So the best thing you can do is curate your inventory to align with these up and coming trends so you can capitalize early on these styles. Because once they become, super mainstream in the reselling world, then it's going to kind of get to the point where it's super flooded in the industry. And then it's going to be, I guess, how Jenkos are right now, where I guess they're still selling, especially the more rare ones, but I have a original Jenko shirt in that red dice flame style. That's pretty classic for that brand, and it hasn't sold. So, and I just posted that. So don't get me wrong, it's still popular, but it's kind of getting cluttered now, right? That it's getting so popular, more resellers are on it. If you're holding out for a full price buyer, geez, like this video, I held out and I made big dollars like we talked about earlier in the video. And if you want more information on sales trends and no fluff reselling tips, give me a follow. I'm hot and I didn't mean for this video to be this long. So anyways, have a good night. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye. I don't know how to shut this off, so bye. Oh no. Pause live.